Did anybody make their shake and forget to eat their nuts?
I did.
Okay, did you notice? Did you notice how quickly you got hungry by chance when that happened?
Yeah, one of the things about the shake is that it's already kind of broken down. When you think about it, you're drinking it, there's not a lot of digestion that has to go on. It gets in your system, it gets delivered, and then you're on from there. Consequently, it gets used up as energy, and then it's out, and then a lot of people, an hour, a couple hours later, are hungry. Well, that happens twice as fast if you don't have that fat in there. That fat, we talked about how it slows down the absorption, sends a message to your brain that you're satiated, that you're actually full, and you're in a good place. So it's really important, and a big mistake that a lot of people make is like, I'm gonna be extra good on this diet, and I'm gonna cut out even more. If they say I should have this much, I'm gonna do even less. And that ends up being a mistake, because we're already putting you in a place where it's a deficit, if you will, because it is a weight loss program. So when you do even more, now your body's going, whoa, wait, I'm not getting really enough what I need, so I'm going to protect myself and I'm going to slow everything down. There's kind of a fine line there that we've worked with. So what we've done with your units is if you notice is that we've actually, on just about everybody, added more units at the end of this program, because your bodies are in such a different place. They run so much smoother, your metabolism has jacked up, you have more muscle, you have less body fat, your body demands more food to continue that process to lose weight. It's kind of against what we've grown up with, where in order to keep losing weight, we just need to keep cutting more and cutting more and cutting more. Well, at some point, you can't go any further. The real truth is when you give your body what it needs on a regular basis, it gets rid of any excess. It no longer needs that stored body fat because you're giving it what it needs on a regular basis. It stored all that because it felt like it needed to. It wasn't getting what it needed. So to lose weight, you need to eat. You don't need to take food away. So there's that fine line. So I'll turn this back over to Carol unless you have any other questions about that. Protein, carbs, and fats. Important with every single meal. Try not to have a meal that has one of those macronutrients missing. And try to build it around the protein, because that's kind of the hardest one to get if you think about it. Preparing it or whatever. And then carbs are easy.
The word unit. I struggled if it was the right thing to do or not, because I've always done it to the 3 takedowns prior. In our normal nutrition program, AMS Nutrition, we describe our portions as a unit. There's a unit of protein, a unit of carbohydrates, and a unit of fat in every meal. It might be 1 unit, 2 units, 3 units, 4 units, whatever it happens to be, but it will be the same number for each macronutrient. So it would always be a 4-unit meal of protein, and a 4-unit meal of carbs, and a 4-unit meal of fat. So all 3 macronutrients, the unit amount would be the same as you experienced in your takedown. I introduced it, I think, about like week 3 or 4 for you, because it was so hard for me to keep removing it from the recipes, and because it was such a part of the program, but I didn't know if I was confusing everybody or making their life easier. So I think I equally confused both groups. One with having it in the beginning and one without having it. So, and then reintroducing or introducing it later. So, having said that, our portions are called units. So when I say you have a 3-unit meal, this is what I'm talking about. This is the breakdown of that particular meal as far as grams go. Okay, so let's say I say you have a 3-unit breakfast, which most people have a 3-unit breakfast for women. Some women have a 2-unit breakfast, but it's very rare that I do that. And so that means that you're looking for 21 grams of protein plus 27 grams of carbs plus 9 grams of fat. So you would look at a package, or you would look at a product, or whatever it happens to be, or all those choices that I gave you during the takedown would represent a 3-unit breakfast, because I didn't give anybody less than a 3-unit breakfast during the takedown. So every breakfast that the women had, for instance, probably, not for sure, some women might have even had a 4-unit, but was a 3-unit breakfast, which equated to those numbers that I just said. Okay, and the same for men with 4 units or 5 units or whatever you had. So when you're looking to put your own meals together, those are the numbers that you're looking for. I created some sheets over here that I'll give you when we're done. And there's a 1-unit portion sheet, 2-unit, 3-unit, 4-unit, and 5-unit. It's broken down into categories of proteins and carbs and fats. And so every category will be that amount, and it'll be a suggestion like, you know, this many eggs or whatever equal 3 units. This many cups of whatever will be, you know, for cereal or whatever will be your carbs. And this many nuts will be your fat. Tons and tons of choices, and you can mix them and match them and make all sorts of ideas together. You already have so many ideas from the takedown. You can mix them and match them. You can do whatever you want. But you have a lot of suggestions. But let's just say you wanted to, let's go with lunch. Lunch is a little bit easier for me to explain. So let's say you have a 3-unit lunch and you want to have a sandwich. You want to have a turkey sandwich with cheese. So we need to find 21 grams of protein. So I'm going to get my turkey and my cheese, and I'm going to look at the protein only. Okay? That's all I'm looking for because that's my protein. And I need to find 21 grams of protein. Well, it says on here that, and I'm just coming up with these amounts, 2 ounces of turkey equals 14 grams of protein. Perfect. I'll take those 2 ounces of turkey out. 1 slice of cheese equals 9 grams of protein. Perfect. So now I have about 21 grams of protein. Protein's accounted for, done with. So now I need to find my bread because I want to have a sandwich. Those little round sandwich things I gave you guys, what are they? 18 grams?
I think that's right.
I think they're 18 grams of carbs. So I need 27, so I'm missing 9 grams of carbs. So what might I add to that to come up with a little bit of carbs? Lettuce, it could be tomato, it could be nothing, and it could be a few vegetable slices, it could be half an apple, any of these things that will work for you. It doesn't matter to me. But you're going to learn how to do that based on the sheets that I'm giving you tonight. And then what am I missing? What macronutrient am I missing? Fat. Avocado, mayonnaise, whatever you want. The sheet will tell you what's the appropriate amount of mayonnaise or avocado or what other kind of fat. You might want nothing, just mustard, which doesn't count for anything, and then eat some nuts. That's fine too.
Or doesn't the cheese have fat?
We're not going to count that. When we're only going to use it for 1 unit of protein, we're only going to look at it as a protein. Okay? We're not going to try to extract things that will make you crazy, and it's not necessary. So you got to make it easy. Always make it easy so that you do it. You know, don't make it so hard that it's just like, oh, it's not worth it. Okay? I've got lots of suggestions for you, though. You don't have to try to figure it out. But so that's a great 3-unit little meal, and you're done. Okay? It's a takedown meal right there. It's what you just did on your own. Okay? Does anybody have any questions about that?
Well, I could just maybe explain a little bit more about the question about the cheese. The reason being that there's usually so little fat that it's not enough to really count as a meal. And that's where you would drive yourself crazy. It's like, okay, for the 9 grams of protein, there's 2 grams of fat, so then I should take 2 grams of fat out of this unit, and that just gets too complicated. It's the same thing if we count peanut butter as a fat, even though it has protein in it. Because if you tried to get 21 grams of protein out of peanut butter, you would end up with 40 grams of fat, and that's where you get into trouble. So the way that we have it set up and broken down is cheese we consider only protein, peanut butter we consider only fat, and then if you just stick to the portion sizes, you'll be golden. You'll be fine.
I try to tell people that when you're in doubt of something like that, the highest macronutrient amount on the per serving wins. Okay, if it's soybeans, you're in a little bit of trouble because it's usually even carbs and protein. So that would be 1 unit perhaps of each. Okay, there's some food sources like that. But peanut butter, when you're looking at peanut butter, it's a perfect example because it does have protein in it, but it has way more fat in it. That's why we only look at it as a fat. Okay, and we're going to give you a certain amount less of protein than perhaps we might have, you know, because we're going to make up the deficit for you. You don't have to try to figure it out yourself. Okay,